Hey everyone, Duke here, and today we're talking about the easiest and fastest farm for high stat armor in Destiny 2. This week is the featured week for Pit of Heresy and will allow you to infinitely farm loot from the dungeon. For this farm, you're going to want to get to or otherwise acquire a checkpoint for the final boss in this dungeon, as well as at least one other person to run the boss with. This armor farm is super fast and easy and requires absolutely no preparation of levels or mods. The only two downsides is that A, this is only doable every 5 weeks, so if you aren't able to farm this week, the only chance you're going to get before Lightfall will be the week right before Lightfall on the week of February 21st, so don't miss out. And second, there is no master version of this dungeon, so you cannot get Artifice armor. Honestly though, outside of Master Duality, Artifice armor tends to not drop with great stats and distributions, and Master Duality definitely has a much higher barrier to entry, along with also only being farmable every 5 weeks. And not only that, but I really don't feel like Artifice armor is nearly as important as just getting some solid stats. If anything, just try to get an Artifice class item as it has no stats on it, so it's immediately a god roll, and class items tend to be the one piece of armor that has most of the artifact mods in a given season. In case you're new to how checkpoint farming works, basically you will want to have this checkpoint on one character that you aren't farming the loot on, switch characters, and then rejoin your team on the character that you do want the loot on. Then, after defeating the boss and getting the loot, you can immediately switch characters back to the character that was holding the checkpoint, invite your team to the game, and as soon as they start loading in, you can switch characters again back to the character that you are farming loot on. This allows for you to keep running the same checkpoint as many times as you'd like. The reason we are running specifically the Pit final boss is that it is extremely easy and quick, always drops armor, and it always drops armor with two 16 plus stat spiky stats, including one that you can pick with your Ghost Armorer mods. For me, Resilience and Discipline are the two most important stats, but Recovery can still be helpful, even more so on a Warlock, and Mobility is great on Hunter. So I chose to focus high Discipline, as there is more likelihood of getting usable distributions in the top half bucket of stats than the bottom half. A super quick TLDR of what I mean by that is basically armor that you get will always, other than a super rare blue gauntlets that Hunters have approximately half of their stats split between the top 3 stats of Mobility, Resilience, and Recovery, and the bottom 3 stats of Discipline, Intellect, and Strength. If you've never ran this encounter before, here's a super quick and simple guide. First, kill one of the Sword Knights in the middle and pick up the sword that it drops. Then go to one of the towers and kill the mini-boss that is there, either the Wizard, the Knight, or the Shrieker. All 3 of these mini-bosses can only be killed by the special Knight sword, and in different ways. The Wizard with the sword shooty beams, the Knight with the sword swings, and the Shrieker with the sword block, causing it to reflect damage onto itself. Every time you kill one of these mini-bosses, it will drop an orb that can be dunked near the middle of the room. Once all 3 orbs are dunked, the boss will be damageable. In order to damage the boss, you must stand in the green circle that is near the boss, and the boss will shoot fire and spawn numerous explosive thralls during the damage phase, so a well is very recommended. With a well and swords, you can take him down in a few seconds and farm to your heart's content. From there, just do the checkpoint trick I talked about earlier, and again, you can farm this as much as you want during this given week. I hope this video was helpful and gets you some of that high stat armor you're looking for before Lightfall drops, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.